Hello everyone and welcome to Sinful Gaming. I hope you're all doing well, I hope you're all staying safe, and most of all, I hope you're all fighting that war against the Grey. Today's video, we've got a Getting Started with Warhammer Age of Sigmar video, and today we're going to be looking at the Beasts of Chaos, and in particular, the Tzaangor part of the army. Today's video will first of all go over what exactly we get with the Beasts of Chaos army, and in particular a Tzaangor focused Beasts of Chaos army, and then we'll look at some units we can use to start our collection, and then how we go upon expanding that initial collection with more models and more units later down the line. Finally, we will finish the video off with a little sample army list at the end for you all to enjoy. You can either use this as some inspiration to start your own Tzaangor themed army, or indeed use the list that we provide if that's what you want to do. So let's get started though, and let's talk about what we get. So first of all, we are a Beast of Chaos army, and all the Tzaangor have the Bray Herd keyword, so we're going to be a Bray Herd Beast of Chaos army focused at least. And so, what do we get with this? Well, first of all, we get the Herdstone and Primordial Core points. These are our summoning points for the army, allowing us to bring other units onto the table from ambush, which is around the board edges, into the battlefield. We can use the Herdstone to sacrifice extra models to give us more Primordial Core points a turn, and there's other ways throughout the book that you can do this to get extra Primordial Core points, whether it be sub-factions or some other ways as well. With that said as well, we do get the Bray Herd ambush rule, which is where we can put half our units in reserve to come in and ambush in turn 1. This is pretty cool, as it allows us to get some units up the table that might otherwise not be, potentially really good with like shooting units to get them the range and get them to where they want to be. Now, this army has the ability to either be horde focused thanks to the large blobs of Tzaangor, or you can definitely go more heavy elite style army focusing on Enlightened and Skyfires. So you've definitely got that mix, and you can definitely play a mid-sized army with a bit of both in there, which is a really cool about a Tzaangor army. Unlike a lot of the other Beasts of Chaos sort of sub-factions, this has both elite and horde style units within its one sort of sub-type that it is. Now, the one thing about this army is the focus around the heroes buffing units is really important. Angor Shamans put out a ton of buff for units nearby, and it's really about getting those heroes to provide buffs to the Tzaangors to make them from what is a good starting war scroll to a great unit. Now, the army can be super fast as well, mainly in the elite troops, which have really good movement. Those Tzaangor can be really fast as well, and some great ways to play around with some ways to get more movement benefits for your army. But with that all said, let's look at what units we need to grab to start off our force. And so, where to begin our army? First of all, the Angor Shaman. He is the only Tzaangor Tzaangor style hero available in the Battletome, so he's the perfect place to start. What do we get with a Angor Shaman though? So we get 6 wound hero with a movement of 16, which is just amazing, and a 5-up save and bravery 6. He's not too shabby in combat, with his start for change being a 1 attack, 4-3, Ren 1 damage D3, but an extra D3 attacks of the same profile from the teeth and horns of his little Screamer disc mount. The Ritual Dagger is another 2 attacks at 4s and 4s, no Ren damage 1, so for a wizard, he puts out a surprising amount of damage. Now, he's got a couple of cool abilities. First of all, he can fly, and the Zinch does count as a mount, so in case you're trying to put any artifacts, they can't be put on the disc. But he's got the Sorcerous Elixir, where once per battle in your hero phase, you can attempt to cast 1 additional spell, and if you do so, you can reroll 1 or both the dice when making that casting roll for the spell. He then has Visions of the Future, where he adds 1 to the hit rolls made with friendly Angor Skyfire units' Arrows of Fate when the unit is held within 12 inch, or the Visions of the Past, where he adds 1 to the hit rolls of friendly attacks made by Tzaangor Enlightened Spears and Vicious Beaks while they're within 12 inch of him, so he can buff both of the elite style Tzaangor units. He's then a single spell and caster and unbinder, and he's got the Boon of Mutation spell, which is casting value of 7, and he picks an enemy unit within 18 inch of him and visible, and that unit suffers D3 mortal wounds. For each model slain by these mortal wounds, you can add 1 new Tzaangor to any friendly Tzaangor unit. Each new Tzaangor model must be set up wholly within 12 inches of the caster and within 1 inch. So if he's near a Tzaangor unit, you can add some extra Tzaangors to your units when he casts a spell. Pretty nice. Now, this also, I guess, means that we're going to want to look at taking Tzaangor as our other unit, and so they become battle line when we have a Angor Shaman as a general for the army. And so Tzaangor have a really decent War Scroll as base. They've got different weapons. They've got their Vicious Beaks with 4s and 5s, no rend damage 1, and then 2 attacks with either the Savage Blades at 4s and 4s, no rend damage 1, or 1 attack with the Savage Great Blade at 4/4, rend 1, damage 2. They get an extra attack if they have over 9 models in the unit. They can add 1 to wound rolls for attacks if they're within range of a Arcanite hero, 12 inch, which our Angor Shaman is. So they can be, you know, 4s and 3s, which is really nice. Potentially 3s and 3s with a command point is pretty solid, with 2 attacks each. And they can also get a 6+ mortal wound shrug for shields in the unit, reroll and get an extra 1 to hit if they have any of the pairs of Savage Blades in the unit. And they've got a bunch of different upgrades throughout the unit. Not to mention the Ornate Totems as well, where they can roll a number of dice equal to the number of wizard units that are within 9 inch, and for each 4+, that unit suffers a mortal wound. Some pretty cool benefits. A really detailed War Scroll. They've got some 2 wounds apiece as well. Pretty solid all around. We then look to where we go next, and of course Enlightened and Skyfires are where we're going to look first. So Tzaangor Enlightened are our elite combat troops. They've got the Babbling Stream of Secrets, where if an enemy fails a battle shock test within 9 inch of them, you can add 1 to the number of models that flee. Really good against other large model units. And then in the combat phase, you can reroll hit rolls and wound rolls for attacks made by this unit if 1 or more enemy units has already fought. So if they go second, they're going to get to reroll hit and wounds. Not to mention they're going to get that bonus +1 to hit as well. With their Zinchian Spear, it's pretty nice for be 3 attacks at 3s and 3s when buffed to rend 1, damage 2. Once again, they've got that 16-inch move if they're deciding to fly. However, they're 6 inch if they're on foot. Tzaangor Skyfires are the other unit we've got. And so they've got Guided by the Future, where in the combat phase, if they attack first, they're going to get all the benefits. And then Judgment from Afar, if they roll a 6 on their hit rolls with their bows, which are 1 attack, 4s, 3s, rend 1, damage D3, they'll do D3 mortal wounds instead of the normal damage. So a pretty good shooting unit available to the army. Once again, with that 16-inch move, this unit can just get to where it needs to be really quick. And then, you know, Tzaangor Skyfires are not terrible in combat either, thanks to the Teeth and Horns attacks from their mounted discs of Zinch. Now, if we were to look for other units to add in, a Dragon Ogre Shaggoth I think is particularly nice, considering he's got access to the spell Sundering Blades. Sundering Blades is one of the spells that is specifically available to the Dragon Ogres, and it can add 1 to a unit's rend. So this is particularly nice on something like a unit of Tzaangors who don't have a lot of rend, but all of a sudden add some rend in there, put rend 2 on those Savage Great Blades, it can start becoming pretty nasty. A Bray Shaman is the other option I'm going to suggest. Once again, Tzaangor are Bray Herd, so they're going to get the benefit of the +3 move that he's going to provide. He's also really good just for sitting backfield with a unit of something cheaper than Tzaangor, summoning and getting you extra primordial core points throughout the game. And so lastly, here we have a little sample army list for you all. This is how we're going to put together the army. So we're going to be in Darkwalkers. I actually like Darkwalkers for the Tzaangor for no other reason than I do think their command ability is good. The Tzaangor, unlike some of the other sort of parts, don't have the best command traits and artifacts. They don't actually have any specific to them. They just get access to the Brayherd ones. But Nomadic Leader that we're going to get as a command trait on our Shaman is going to add 1 to the run rolls for friendly units, Darkwalker units nearby, which means those Tzaangor, which have run and charge base, are going to get +1 to that run, so pretty nice there. The Desolate Shard is an artifact we get from the Darkwalkers as well, which is going to, once per battle at the start of your hero phase, you can use it on a terrain feature and do some mortal wounds to nearby units. I've gone for the Angor Shaman to have Tendrils of Atrophy, which is a -1 to save spell, so just once again combining this with the ability to get some extra rend in other places, especially on the Herdstone's ability, is pretty cool. He's going to be fast enough that he's actually going to be able to get it early too. The other thing we've gone for is a Bray Shaman as our other hero, taking the universal spell Ghost Mist for some nice flying shenanigans. Battle line, 10 Angors there for our sacrifice, and then 20 Tzaangor. The reason we've gone for a big unit of 20 is to make sure that we stay above that 10 model limit. We are going to be able to get quite a few of them in combat on 32mm bases with some fancy maneuvering, but it's going to mean that we get those extra attacks, and we probably ensure that we're going to keep it on those. If we go 10 man, as soon as we lose 2 models, we all of a sudden lose that extra attack, and the Tzaangor's efficiency really drops down from there. We then have a unit of 3 Skyfires in our other units and a unit of 3 Enlightened on foot. Unit of 3 Enlightened on foot will probably be one of the units we stick in ambush, waiting around to jump onto an objective or jump onto something that's a little bit exposed in the enemy army. We've got the whole army wrapped up in a battle regiment, which means we're a 1-drop force, really nice for sort of controlling how the game's going to go, and allowing us to hopefully get the first turn and just charge straight up the field with those Angor and go murder stuff. Not 145 points means there's a good chance we are going to get our Triumph, which is going to be bloodthirsty for the army. This is a re-rollable charge, because we definitely don't want to be charging those Angor up and then not getting that charge, or potentially if the Enlightened have come on from ambush, getting a re-roll charge on them for free is nice as well. And then 82 wounds, 1 reinforced unit, no allies, and a 1-drop army as mentioned. Pretty solid for a 1,000 point army. If you've been playing with Beasts of Chaos in addition to 3.0, and in particular playing with some Tzaangor, let us know how you're going in the comments below. Well, thank you all for watching. We hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Also, if you'd like to come chat more with me and other members of our fine little community here, you can do so by joining our Discord server, which is linked down in the description of the video. Also, if you'd like to help support the channel more financially, you can do so either by joining our Patreon or YouTube members, of which you'll find both the links of both of them down in the video's description as well. As a special thank you to everyone who does support the channel via Patreon and YouTube members, we'd like to give a shout out to them all. So a special thanks to our Patreons, Christian Weir, James Soren, Greenskins Gaming, AJC, Kenny Lowell, Outer Shot First, Andrew Bowen, Nathan Fee, The Rising Ape, Cure Dynamic, Agu, Anthony B, Anton Nilsson, JJ Austrian, Average Wargamer, Domir, Mark Harvey, James Cater, and Samuel. And a special shout out to our YouTube members as well: Green Roots Gaming, Kenton Young, Chris Rollis, Ronya, Vinny, Lockloric, The Johnny84, David Ellsworth, Revenar, Wolfric Nick, Broken Chef, Sean Scott, DS, and Ariana Edwards. And a special thanks lastly to, first of all, Lady Witchfox Art, who does all the amazing artwork you can see pictured here for the channel. And a special shout out to Xmorphic, who does all the amazing background work for our Discord server. You're both absolute legends. Thank you all for watching once again. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Stay safe everyone, stay well. Most of all, keep fighting that war against the Grey. Ciao for now.